My name is Sheri McLemore. My degree is a Master's in Nursing Education from WGU. I actually have a friend that started 1 month before I did that recommended WGU because of the ease of getting admitted, people reaching out and trying to help her along the way. I had actually started at another university and I withdrew and changed to WGU. Mostly, I felt like there was always, even though it was an online program, there was always someone that I could talk to. I have met and talked to some of the best people at WGU. My school mentor, Dr. Wilma Hart-Flynn, couldn't have made it without her, and I actually became pretty good friends with an instructor at the Writing Center. She just helped me with everything that I could do. I mean, even reached out above and beyond what she had to do. Both of them, actually. They would call and check on me. They would email. Anything that I needed, they were there. And so you really can't ask for more than that. The ease of admissions, feeling like I was always supported and I had a cheerleader in my corner. The actual degree itself, not easy, but doable because of the terms that they set up, just the ease of being able to get in the classes and someone there to support you. Basically, what you do at the Writing Center is you set up an appointment for them to help you with your papers or your assignments, and they would just basically help you get through certain things that may be causing you trouble, ask you to, look at something, maybe kind of adjust it, and that became that happened every time before I turned in an assignment, especially a paper. That it went through the Writing Center. Actually, for me, I would make an appointment at the Writing Center so I knew I had to get my paper done. So that's what I did, and they were fantastic. And I always looked for the same instructor. So I've actually been a nursing educator for almost 18 years in an LPN program. My mentor at that school actually had wanted me to go back to school to get my master's degree, and specifically in nursing education. I'm now the Dean of Allied Health and Technical Studies at my school, Northwest Louisiana Technical College, and this just helped me mold myself, I think, more into that particular position, make me a little more at ease in the things that I have to do in my day-to-day job. All of the monthly start dates, I think, were the easiest. It just helps you know that where you have this amount of time to get these things done, that it's easier to start. There's not a specific start date like at the beginning of a semester. Makes it easy for people that have to work and have crazy schedules, like most, in my world, like most nurses. Everything about WGU was easy for me as far as getting into, not the work. Let me be very clear about the work. The work is challenging, but the processes are very easy. So that makes a huge difference for someone that has a crazy schedule. A mom has children, more than one job, so it just makes it easy. So just fitting it into my schedule was easy for me because I just always knew that there was going to be, the start date was going to be there when the classes started. It was just easier for someone with a crazy schedule to be able to log onto the computer whenever I needed to, whenever I had an opportunity. Stay up with my classes, but just log in when I needed to. Just that everything about it was just easy, just not the schoolwork. I found that to be extremely valuable because my bachelor's degree was actually obtained through one of the universities here in Louisiana. And so it is very different, but I also appreciate the fact that they utilize and they use what we already know, and they build on that, and they push you to build on that for your competency-based education. I found that to be most helpful, mostly because I knew that that was going to help me in the long run. I didn't feel like that was just a class that I had to check a box, that it's actually going to help me move forward in my current position. At first, it was not a factor because I fully expect to pay for college. I knew that I was going to pay for college out of pocket, but the ease of being able to go on a payment plan, which is what I did because I was paying out of pocket. I did not apply for financial aid. I did not want to have any of that burden, so I just paid for it out of pocket. The flexibility in the payment plan, you couldn't ask for anything better, and the affordability, I will leave with my degree with no debt. For me, that was the only way I could have gotten this degree, is online, because I've been a nurse for 30 years. So of course there's always something we can learn, but where I was focusing my education now was more, how can I use what I'm learning, and how can I use the fact that I'm an online student to reach out to my students that are also online. So that helped me know how, on the student side, also the instructor side as well. So it helped me be more aware of the things that I could make easier for my students. My degree absolutely helped me into the position that I'm in. I actually started years ago with an associate's degree as an instructor and moved into a coordinator position. And then I left the college briefly to teach high school students, different things about healthcare, but then I came back as a consultant to the college, which just ended up moving into the current position that I have. I don't think that I would have been as successful as I am in the position without the degree. Sure. Probably the first term I had and the second class, things just started. I got really busy with work, the holidays were coming, and it is very easy to put that computer to the side and walk away and move on to other things. The person that kept bringing me back to that was my mentor. She would reach out and say, "Hey, just want to check in." And had it not been for her, I probably still would be waiting to get my degree. But she just was very supportive, "Hey, let's do this, just one bite at a time, you can do it." And I took a little longer to finish that class than I intended, but with her help, I got past it, and then it just kind of kept moving pretty quickly from there. It's very easy when you move from what our classes are called the D classes, and you move to the C classes, the more education specific. You feel like you've met a hurdle, and then you get over that hurdle and you feel like, I can take a breath, and sometimes the breath lasts a little too long. And then it took a minute for me to want to get back into those classes, but once I got past that, then there was no stopping. It was the race is on. Then I'm ready to keep moving and get finished. Yes and no. For test anxiety, for me, is I think I put too much pressure on myself. Not that I can't do it. It's that the expectations probably are a little higher, or I perceive them to be a little higher because I have been a nurse for so long. We have one big test in our program, and I was very nervous, not gonna lie, but took the pre-test and it was fine, and then I took the test itself, and of course it ended up being perfectly fine, but it's just the pressure we put on ourselves. I did it. I was scared, I'm not gonna lie, but I did it. So my study life was every night after work, usually for about an hour or two, and every Saturday morning before we started getting really busy. I was usually in my bedroom, kind of secluded away from people, or I would go to my office on the weekends and shut the door because no one's there, and study for a little while, work on a paper, whatever I needed to do to keep myself on track. So the balance for work, for home, and for school, and like I said, it's pretty tricky, but you learn about the first, second, or class, it just depends on you, first or second class, but you learn that every minute that you have available, you need to fit something in. School is an easy fit in, it's just also an easy thing to push to the side. And so you have to be pretty dedicated. Do it. Start today. Don't wait. When you think that the perfect time is coming, there's never going to be a perfect time. So they start every month, beginning of the month, sign up, do it. Just take the jump in and go. I just wanted I wanted to move forward with my education. This seemed to be the most economical, easiest way to go about getting my education. And with another friend also involved, letting me know how easy and how affordable it had been for her. It was just the right move at the right time. The first phone call that I had with Dr. Hartflynn, she immediately became one of my people, I guess. She was so encouraging. She'd ask you to make a goal every single time. We did that every phone call. It didn't matter how far along I was in the program for the next phone call that we had. When she said she was going to talk to me every 2 weeks, we talked every 2 weeks without fail. And she was always we talked about school, but we also developed a relationship. I feel like a personal relationship where we could still talk. We still talk even now. And she asked me if I would be, willing to help her students that if I, were in the area, or students that were in the area that are going through WGU, would I be willing to be a mentor, for them? And absolutely, anything she asked me to do, I'm going to do it, because she was just that good to me. I have other friends that didn't have that same relationship with their mentor. I gave them my mentor's name and asked them to reach out to her. And she is truly the reason, really my cheerleader that pushed me through. I will go back to school. Probably not this year, but I will go back to school. My intent is to get a DNP, which is a Doctor of Nursing Practice, with a track in nursing education. I probably will wait till next year. My daughter's getting married in June, so I need just a little time, but it will be next year. For sure, the doctorate in nursing practice. For nurse educators, there are many nurses that want to be a nurse practitioner, but for those of us that don't, we need other options. And once you've developed a relationship with someone at WGU, it would be an easy transition if they had that program. I know it's difficult. I know there's a lot that goes into getting those programs up and running, but I would for sure go back to WGU if they started that program tomorrow. Myself. That was probably the biggest barrier, was myself. Thinking that I couldn't do it, thinking I wouldn't have time. How am I going to fit this in this crazy schedule that I have? But it worked. It worked. I found a way you will find a way, but usually the biggest barrier I've had through all of my educational experience was myself. Any person that is considering going back to school for a bachelor's degree, master's degree, this is the place to go. WGU is it.